yoga in our city's virtual studio class. For Chair Yoga, my name is Anne. Please consult your medical practitioner before you engage in any type of exercise. That's also including yoga. And this is especially important if you are pregnant, if you are nursing, if you have a pre-existing condition or taking any kind of medication. Just to be sure and certain, check with your medical practitioner. Now, on a personal note this evening, this session will be on chair yoga movements that build strength and increase our flexibility. And of course, as we age, this becomes more and more important that we do build our flexibility and also our strength. Because as time goes on, sometimes we lose a lot of our strength and flexibility if we don't work our physical body. Of course, our mind too, our mental body. Okay, so let's begin this evening, and we'll start with our foundational pose, which is called Sitting Mountain. And then we always come back to this just to realign yourself. So for example, when you become and are more focused on what you're feeling, which is one of the gifts of yoga, that we become very much aware of how we feel, become aware of our breath. We become aware of, how am I standing? Are my shoulders back? Is my chest open? Okay, so that's the purpose of Sitting Mountain. This is the foundational pose that you can always come back to. Now, what we're going to do to begin with is we're going to shimmy our buttocks towards the front of the chair. And of course, you want to make sure that your chair is nice and strong, okay? That the legs are solid so there's no movement. And allow some room in the back. So your sits bones, which we're going to do now, you're going to take your right hand and lift up the right cheek, and then you're going to take your left hand and lift up the left cheek. And if you move back and forth, you can feel those sits bones. This helps to align our back and our spine and our whole body, actually. Our lower body is actively engaged. Even though we're sitting, we are actively engaged in our muscles on all the lower part of our body. We want our upper body to be basically relaxed, but still definitely to be very aware of the active posture. So in other words, we don't want to be slumping back or slumping over, right? And remember, the spine is naturally does have a slight curve. Now we're going to take our feet, and you're going to take right below the toes is a nice fatty cushion, and also your heel, and you're going to press them into the floor in front of you. Then you're going to take your fists and walk it up the legs, because this is the perfect posture and perfect separation of the legs. So you allow some room to come through. Then we're going to take our finger and we're going to zoom up like we're zipping up our body. Okay? So now that also actively, mentally allows you to focus on your beautiful posture. Now, after we do that, we're going to take our chin and we're going to be sure our chin is parallel to the floor beneath us. And remember, we say always dristi, or your focus point. It could be down slightly in front of you, or it could be straight ahead. And or if you prefer to look up, you want to be sure that where the wall meets the ceiling, you're not stretching your neck any farther than that. So that's where your eyesight would be, okay? Focusing on that point or that dristi. Next, we're going to take the shoulders and we're going to bring them up towards the ear, and we're going to stretch back so the shoulder blades are kissing each other. And this will open our chest. So when we work our breath, we'll be able to really feel the expansion and the contraction of our lungs. So, and now we're ready. And if you need any more information on sitting mountain, or you're practicing at home and maybe you forget the basic foundational pose, you can go back to this, or you can go back to Yoga in Our Cities prior Yoga with Ann, chair yoga with Ann, and I go into a lot of detail, especially when we first began around October, November. Okay? So now we're going to move into our props. Now our props are just here to basically help us if we need them. Okay? So this is what I use every week. This is a wonderful roller. It massages the lower part of the feet. Or if you'd like, if you don't have a roller, you can just simply take your fingers and massage the lower part of your feet. And the same thing with this one. Okay. But because I have my roller, I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it in front of me. And I'm going to simply massage my feet. And it feels wonderful. And remember, a lot of our nerves, or most of our nerves, do end in the feet. Sometimes we forget about our feet, our toes, but very, very important. As you know, it serves so many functions. And after you do that a few times, let's come back to our sitting mountain or foundational posture. And we're going to go into our next prop, which will be, as always, our blocks. Now, blocks serve many purposes. So, for example, if our feet do not touch the floor in front of us, we have the blocks, okay, to raise our feet up instead of hanging in front of us, okay? So that would be this part. Now, you can use the blocks for various purposes. So, for example, if I want to stretch my ankles, I can come up on my piggy toes, or I can come down on my heels, okay? So as you can see, I can move back and forth. And believe it or not, I was just thinking, I usually don't talk about this or use this, but the block can also be used almost like for building the strength in our arms, and also to increase our strength through our whole body, shoulder blades included. We could take the block and we could press. So we're taking the elbows and pushing them out and then bring them down. So this is like an extra little movement where we can stay grounded and we can use the block for various purposes. Or maybe you prefer to take it and bring it vertically. And again, the same thing. Or you can lift up. Sometimes this will help keep our elbows in line with our shoulders. And then back. So lots of functions for our blocks, I should say. Okay, now this evening we're going to start with an intention, and the intention I chose, and hopefully you'll all be able to say it 3 times with me. I feel a connection to my inner self when I engage in yoga postures and mindful breathing. So let's say that 3 times. You can keep your eyes open or you can close them. I feel a connection to my inner self when I engage in yoga postures and mindful breathing. I feel a connection to my inner self when I engage in yoga postures and mindful breathing. I feel a connection to my inner self when I engage in yoga postures and mindful breathing. And you may close your eyes, just let those words resonate within you. Now, maybe you try tomorrow, you look in the mirror or do whatever, and you try to remember this intention. You don't have to remember the whole thing. You can simply say, I feel a connection to my inner self when I have mindful breathing. Any positive affirmation resonates in all parts of our physical and mental body. And now let's take a couple of breaths. Just do 3 breaths. Inhale and then exhale. Inhale and exhale. Okay, now let's begin. We're going to start with breath. I have 2 breaths that I'd like to share with you this evening. First is our complete breath, and I invite you to explore your breath. Take a feel or a pulse on your breath. Notice if it's smooth. Notice the quality. Is it a long inhalation and a longer exhalation? Are you inhaling through the nose and exhaling out through the nose or breath? So let's begin. Make sure you are in your foundational pose. You want to take the shoulders, bring them up to the ears, and open the chest. And now we're going to start with complete breath. You can leave your eyes open or you may close them. And we'll do 6 complete breaths. Inhale through the nose, just expanding, and exhale through the nose or the mouth. Inhale, exhale, inhale, nice full breath, and exhale. Get all that air out on the exhalation or that carbon dioxide. Exhale it out. Again. One more. And relax. Now that complete breath is just a marvelous breath. It's a calming breath. So for example, if you need to calm yourself down in any situation, even sleeping at night, if you need to relax, you can do the breath. And then you can even take your hands and place them on your belly so you can feel on the inhalation your belly expanding and on the exhalation contract. Sometimes I like to use a visualization, so I'll pretend there is a balloon inside my belly. And that balloon could be orange, could be red, whatever you choose. And you watch it expanding on the inhalation and contracting on the exhalation. All righty. Now, the next breath that we're going to do, it's called the lion's breath. Now, this is a wonderful cleansing breath. And in addition, the lion's breath help us to feel energized and alert. Okay, so we're going to pretend we are lions. So you're going to take your hands, place them on your thighs, and separate your fingers. Okay, so you're really coming forward when you do this, just slightly. So we're going to inhale and exhale. Then we're going to inhale and a forceful exhalation and stick out the tongue. So the exhalation is a forceful exhalation through the mouth. This also is very good for, they call it halitosis or bad breath. Okay, so let's do 6 of those. Now, if you feel any dizziness because you're getting too much of oxygen, then just stop at maybe it'll be 1, maybe it'll be 2, okay? You take care of yourself and you be the judge of how many you can do, all righty? Without feeling any sensations of dizziness. Okay, so let's begin. Inhale, come forward. And last one. This time, let's open our eyes really big. You ready? Inhale. Beautiful. Now I'm going to invite you to come a little bit farther towards the back of your chair and just relax. Feel any sensations you may feel. Beautiful part of yoga and the breath is we begin to really understand our being and become so consciously aware of ourselves. As we're walking, we know if all of a sudden we feel like, oh, my shoulders, I'm not expanding my chest. And you know what that means? You got to come and you got to open the chest, bring those shoulder blades together, and again, become very aware of how you're standing. Okay? Now, next we're going to do, first one, it's called Feel the Sensation. So I'm going to tap on my body, but you can rub or you can touch, whichever is comfortable. So what we're going to do is, sometimes they call this tapping. I'm going to take my fingers first, I'm going to stretch them and just move them. And then I'm going to tap on my feet, and then the sides of the legs, and then up my thighs. And then, of course, you want to get the back, same thing. And sometimes you may prefer to do a rub, or you can even have like a towel or a face cloth and kind of just rub the body. Again, you're feeling the sensations. And now let's do our abdominal area. And you can feel it. We can feel your intestines, different parts of the body internally, and then the side, my buttocks. And then I'm going to tap my back as far as I can stretch my arms, feel the sensation, my sides, then my chest, forward, 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 breast. And then I'm going to do my shoulders underneath the arm. You want to tap the fingers and the hands. Just to feel again, feel the sensation. Sometimes we just don't touch our body enough, and it really responds our bodies to this. Okay, and then we're going to come up and we're going to do the neck and the back of the head. Then you may want to do your forehead, around your eyes, your nose, cheeks, chin. Oh, feels good. If you'd like, you can do top of your head, okay? And feel the sensation again, your ears. Beautiful. So this is tapping, and you can also rub your hands if you prefer, and then you could rub your legs, however you want to do it. But let's rub the hands together and feel the sensation of the warmth as you take those palms and rub them together. Beautiful. All righty. Let's relax. Again, you may want to come and recheck your sitting mountain pose, but feel comfortable, but yet actively involved. So you feel the muscles. You can even tighten the muscles in the legs if you'd like. And you can put those shoulder blades back. And then we're going to start shoulders up and then forward and down. Let's do this 10 times. It's great for the shoulders. And then what we're going to do is we're going to reverse this. Now feel the stretch. We want to increase the flexibility of our shoulders, our upper chest, and let's reverse it. We're increasing the flexibility of our whole body while we move, and we connect the breath with the movement. Now, next, we're going to stop for a moment, and we're going to start with the neck, and we're going to move, keep your chin parallel to the floor, and then you're going to inhale, and on the exhalation, just move your neck as far as you can without any ouches. Now, if you have a neck that is difficult to move because maybe you have arthritis or whatever reason, you respect that and you stop before any ouches happen. Inhale, then the opposite. We'll do 3 each side. Back to center. Inhale. Next, side to side. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, turn. And you can do this at home. Actually, you can do it in bed in the morning. If you're like me, I have arthritis in the neck. So that's always a good move as soon as I wake up, to lie on the bed and just move gently, mindfully, and slowly the neck from side to side. Okay, now next we're going to do a forward fold. And the purpose of the forward fold is it does strengthen and stretches the spine. Now to begin with though, you could either come forward with your tippy toes on the floor beneath you, heels raised. If that's comfortable, you can do that. That may be all you can do. So you're going to inhale if you're there. We call this level 1, and you're just going to come forward, but you're going to come forward starting with the hips and relax. You can keep the arms out on the shoulders, whatever you prefer, whatever you can do. Now you may be at level 2 where you can take the arms and you can bring them farther up and over. And now you're going to extend the legs out, maybe only a few inches, and then come forward and stretch those fingers out so you feel the elongation of the spine. So this would be level 2, and you're going to breathe into it. You can either keep the fingers or the palms, I should say, parallel to the floor, or you can stretch them so your fingers are pointing out away from your body and then come back. Beautiful. And you would want to, of course, breathe through that. Now, if you're in level 3, you're going to take your arms and inhale, stretch up. The feet are all the way extended in front of you. So as far as you can go, you could put the heels on the floor and then slowly exhale and come forward on the exhalation. Take the fingers, the hands, place them the left on the left foot, the right on the right, and feel the stretch in through the back, through the spine. And breathe. Now inhale, slowly walk the fingers up the legs. And again, feel any sensations that you may feel. Okay, now we're going to move into the pigeon pose. So the pigeon pose, we're going to start with the upper body. And if you're in level 1, you're only going to simply put the hands like this. And the feet, you can take your right foot and place it next to the side of the left. And that would be your first pigeon. Now, if you're in level 2, what you'd like to do is you're going to take that right foot and place it where your right foot is against the ankle of the left. Okay, now we're going to take our upper body, we're going to come around, and you can already feel the sensation in the stretching through all the back, the shoulder blades, rib cage, etc. And breathe. Now, what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. But before we do that, we're going to go to level 3, will be beautiful. The right foot comes on the left thigh, and the arms are going to come, but we're going to wrap our arms around, clasp the hands together so the palms are touching, and breathe. 3 full breaths. And relax. Undo. And now we're going to do to the other side. So let's start level 1. Left foot slightly over right. Arms can come here, but maybe you're right here for level 1. Perfect, wherever you are. Or maybe you just want to place your hands gently on the shoulders. Now we're going to move to level 2. So level 2, we're going to place the foot, the sole of the left foot right against the right ankles. And now you're going to inhale, and maybe you can come around this far. Okay. And again, you could feel the stretch in through the back body, shoulder blades. Make sure your sits bones are nice and comfortable on the chair, and come back. And now level 3, you're going to take, and if you have a strap, some people prefer to use the strap. So you would just take the strap and wrap it around you, or your stretchies. Okay. Now you're going to inhale, bring the arms right back. You may want to reverse what you did before. So if left and right, you're going to do the opposite. Right and left. Breathe together. Nice full breath. Beautiful. Now what we're going to do is undo, and we're going to just kind of move back and forth. Let's get that body kind of moving and shaking. Okay? All righty. And now I'm going to invite you to come again to that place of sitting mountain, but this time just move your sits bones a little bit farther back on the chair. And I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and simply breathe. Check in, see how does your body feel? Do you feel stretched? Do you feel more flexible? Do you feel like you're stronger? Because if we do these movements every single day, connecting with the breath, doing different postures, our body will become more flexible and also stronger. And that's what we'd like. Okay? Now, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, connect again with the breath. 3 full breaths. Very nice job, everyone. Be proud of yourself. I'm proud of you for continuing from beginning to end of this session. And I'd also like to invite you all to bring the palms of your hands together and bow your heads down. And remember, today is the anniversary of 9/11. For all those that have been involved, that did so much beautiful work helping people during that time. And some people have passed, and others are living with certain illnesses and diseases. So let's just say a quiet prayer for them and for all their loved ones left behind. And now we can open our eyes. Again, I thank all of you for joining me for Chair Yoga, our studio class from Yoga in Our City. And I'm so glad you were all here. Now remember, practice every single day. That will increase the strength and the flexibility. We'll become more and more aware of our bodies as we walk, as we sit, everything, how we breathe. Okay? And I hope to see you all next Wednesday, same time, 5:30 to 6. Bye, everyone. Enjoy your evening.